Hi, this is Matt McGowan, and I just wrapped with Joe and Matt talking all things Snapchat, augmented reality, Gen Z, millennials. Come check it out.
What's up, everybody? You're listening to the Hustle and Flowchart podcast with your boys, Matt Wolfe and Joe Fier.
I admitted to you that on our first call that I did not have Snap on my phone anymore, and it was like a couple years. And so sorry.
Okay.
I re-downloaded it, and when I opened it back up, I was like, this is a whole new different app, man. Like, you guys have applied so many different things. I know AR is a huge piece. I mean, Bitmoji, I think, was a Canadian company, right? And you guys
Still is. Yeah, right here with me in Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I was just like, wow, I don't even know what this is anymore. Like, I want to spend some time on it, but it excited me even further for Snap as a platform.
From a business perspective, commercially, advertisers have leaned very heavily into like let's say 3 or 4 major platforms, you know, your Googles, your Facebooks, your Amazons, and so on, Apple. They're looking for choice. So that's fantastic, right? Like, no one wants to put all their eggs in one basket, right? And it doesn't necessarily make the most sense to do that for a variety of reasons. But we're an ad-supported business, so giving advertisers choice is a huge thing for us. Helping them reach this unique audience is another. But also, like, when you think about the platform itself, like you said, it's evolved. We have like there's a nav bar across the bottom.
Yeah, that wasn't there before. Yeah.
That wasn't there before. You had to swipe, and people were really uncomfortable because they didn't know what was coming, right?
Right.
So you open to the camera. We're a camera company. We've invested heavily in the camera for a decade now, and we believe that, like, the camera, which used to be about recording memories and instances and points in time, is more about input now. So we look at it as like the next keyboard. So you can do a lot more with the camera, and augmented reality is one major kind of temple thing that you can do. You need a camera to engage with augmented reality. So we're a camera company that's moving into like an AR, augmented reality platform. But yeah, we got social maps on there. We got content and like shows on there.
Kevin Hart, I think, was one of them.
Kevin Hart's on there. Will Smith's on there. You know, many influencer types, or kind of the new Kevin Hart's and the new Will Smiths that we may or may not know about, because they appeal to a younger generation. We have scripted shows and unscripted shows and news shows and docuseries and dramas and horror and so on and so forth. Wow. So, like, there's a whole entertainment thing going on with Snap that is new for someone who hasn't downloaded the app in a while.
Get back on it if you're not on there.
And also some of the tenets of our old app are still there, right? Like stories. You can still see your friends' stories, which is super important. And, connect, especially in these days where, like, people are a bit more hesitant to get together. We found that, like, Snap has helped them come together. And it was an interesting stat. One of the things we're most proud of is just over 95% of Snapchatters. We don't like to use the word. I find Evan's way very thoughtful and interesting, by the way. Like, let's not use the word users. It has wrong connotations. Let's call them Snapchatters, right? At Google, Googlers are the people who work for Google. At Snapchat, Snapchatters are those who use the platform. Just think about that for a minute. Different frame of reference. So, Snapchatters, over 95% of them, and this is done through research we've conducted on the platform and the third party and whatnot, are happier when they come off the platform than when they go on it, because they've connected with a friend in an authentic way.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
You don't hear that from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. Yeah, man.
There's no endless scrolling wall really on Snapchat, right? We have the curated Discover platform. You're not there just kind of, you're there to engage or to entertain or to use an app, to use the camera to help solve a problem, help you figure out what plant is in your backyard, what kind of dog is you're feeding every morning, how to solve a math problem for your kids, whatever it might be. Like, the camera can do really good stuff. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious with Snapchat. Like, I've always considered myself not really in the Snapchat demographic, and I'm sure you can kind of correct me, but is the plan with Snapchat to kind of continue to go after that Gen Z, younger millennial demographic, or is it to kind of expand out and make this something that's really valuable that everybody on the planet wants to use?
Yeah. So there's over 500 million Snapchatters out there using the app, right? And they live all over the world. And for the most part, they tend to be between the age of 13 and 34. That's where we focus. Like if we're going to invest in something, it has to appeal to that subset of that demographic in some capacity. Are we aging up? Yes, because Snapchat's sticky. So like a stat here in Canada we like to reference is that 1 in 3 Snapchatters on the platform are parents. I couldn't have said that 8 years ago, 10 years ago. But the guy who's on the platform or the person who's on the platform 8, 9, 10 years ago is still on the platform and now a parent. So like because of the fact that we're a communication mechanism, because we bring happiness and joy, we feel like to Snapchatters, because we're about connecting people and helping them live in the moment, communicate with their friends, learn about the world that they're in with their camera, because we offer that utility, we find that the platform just continues to grow. And new people, younger generations, once they hit 13, they're allowed on the platform, and then they don't tend to leave. So, we're not actively trying to age up, but it's organically happening.
Well, I want to talk about the marketing implications of Snapchat, because a lot of our audience is digital marketers, right? They have e-com business or course businesses or software businesses. That's what makes up most of the audience of this episode or this show. So I'm curious, what are some of the ways that marketers can leverage both on organic and paid side?
Both opportunities are available, so that may or may not even be known to begin with.
Yeah.
So we have an ads manager. It's a self-serve tool, very similar to our peer platforms that they have. And you can go right in, and once someone logs in, if they've been in an ads manager before, it's pretty self-explanatory. You can upload CRM data, look for lookalike audiences, run campaigns, full funnel, whether you're kind of looking for awareness or some sort of performance mechanism. We offer dynamic product ads and all that jazz. So like we plug into your SKUs and all that stuff. But we also offer augmented reality solutions, which is like, whoa, that takes a little bit more explaining.
We'll get to that. I have some questions.
It gets to that. Yeah. I will say headline there, it's not that expensive, and it's rather simple with the tools we offer, but it's definitely something new. On the organic side, we offer public profiles, right? So your business can have a profile, or you can have a profile where you attach content. Maybe lenses, augmented reality experiences, maybe video you've created, whatever it might be. And you have a presence. So like, for instance, here in Canada, like RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, the largest bank, one of the largest banks in Canada, uses its Snapchat profile to educate younger Canadians on financial best practices and whatnot. So like they found it, and they do that organically through the platform. Yeah. So like that's, and they get reports. How many people watch this thing? Tell me a little bit of information about them, so on and so forth. So that is, there's opportunities on both sides. I will say on the ad side, all ads are full screen. They're all super immersive. There's forced and not forced type view. So like, they're very familiar to anyone who's run on any other platform.
Gotcha. And the ads look pretty native to the platform. They just look like you're watching another Snap story kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're labeled, right? So it's all done above board, and you're looking at sponsored content, so to speak. Some of them are long form, some of them are short form, some are interstitials that are linked together, some are videos. It's really funny. Like we have all sorts of best practices we speak about, but the reality is, like, I think just there's no one way to kind of like run an ad, and advertisers need to find the solution that works best with their media, with their guidelines.
Yeah.
But plenty of UGC type ads and plenty of like done in the studio kind of ads.
Yeah. User generated. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
How about the spotlight feature? I think that's a newer one you guys rolled out, right? And that seems like more of a native type of content play or something like that. So because we're a camera company, what we found was people were making really cool stuff with the Snapchat camera. Yeah.
Including using augmented reality that's native to the platform. Wow. Blown all of our expectations away. The interesting thing about Spotlight is both AI, machine learning, and human moderated. So everything gets scanned by the machine, but if anything gets more than a few views, and I'm talking like maybe 10, 20, and a human looks at it to make sure it's within guidelines. And we all know what, there's problems. I don't know why it's not that. I mean, it's a relatively simple process, and it seems to work. And each individual piece of content is evaluated on its own. So you don't get any props for being like a superstar. Like the content has to be good. So I have just as good of a chance as, someone with a bazillion followers on another platform, which is kind of cool. So it's a bit democratized.
What's the kind of content that really catches attention then that you've seen blow up on Spotlight?
Unique, engaging content that's different. Like we're shooting for diversity of content, not kind of, we're not looking for like a million videos on, repeats of the exact same thing over and over again done differently. Like we're looking at it differently. So I'd say unique, engaging, fun, short.
Short, sweet, fun, different. Yeah, something gets attention. Not a bunch of cat videos all the time. Sweet. No, I like that. Well, I want to go back to AR, augmented reality, because I think that, like when you and I were chatting, you're like, man, there's so many implications for businesses. You guys are working with brands. Give us some examples of how you're seeing AR used already, and kind of the stuff that's exciting you on the future roadmap, as much as you can give out, of course.
We're seeing virtual stores being built where you can wander around the store in the AR experience, choosing items, buying them, reviewing them, buying them if you'd like. Yeah. So AR can be a performance mechanism, which is a channel, which is interesting. It's not just for awareness. Some of the most successful stuff though is around try-on. So like the camera's getting smarter. So AR, we're augmenting the world we see around us. So maybe there's products that are existing now, like between you and whatever the camera's looking at. But we can use the camera to try to fit the size and to fit. So like not only can I see if like the shirt looks good on me and select a pattern, but I can fit it, right? So the camera measures it and then passes that data back, and I know I'm a medium, not a large, or whatever, right? And that not only surprises and delights the consumer because they get it right the first time, but it on the bottom line for the retailer, returns are a major expense.
Oh yeah.
It minimizes returns. So here, I think I may have done this with you, but here. So this is a Vancouver company. It's clearly there's a bunch of, I'm supporting the Canadian guys, I guess, I'm up here in Canada. But there's a bunch of companies on Snap that sell glasses. You probably know a few of them, like Warby Parker and whatnot. These glasses I originally tried on via Snapchat. So I have a big head. I don't have a hat here, but if I had like a trucker hat on, I'd be on the last, the last little nib, the last little thing there.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Which makes most hats don't fit, right? And most glasses don't fit. They like hit me like this. They won't go on my face without stretching. These went on perfectly. These are blue blockers, like just because I'm spending a lot of time on screens. I got it right the first time with the fit, which I've never done in store, let alone online. And I got to choose the frame I wanted, and I don't know, I think the frame works. Like I don't wear glasses, but I like this. These work for me. So that's an example. Like I don't need Clearly to send me 5 different frames in 5 different sizes, which other players do, to get one that works to send 4 back.
It's crazy. Yeah, because you see that all the time. Or you see Amazon, and this is Amazon, so they're an anomaly, but they're like, under $10, $5, whatever, like, just keep it. Yeah. We don't even need it
just
back.
Keep it.
Yeah. It's like, well, most companies can't
that goes to how much it costs.
Totally. That too.
Right?
Yeah.
That's probably because it costs more than $10 to return something. So they're like, keep it. Whereas we have a lot of small advertisers on our platform, like you said, can't afford that.
I thought one of the coolest things when getting back into Snap was the Bitmoji, or I think it was, like, you basically create your avatar. Like, it kind of, like, you take a picture of yourself, and then it's like, boom, now you can, like, dress yourself. I was like, this is kind of cool. There's like Halloween stuff, 'tis the season. But you know, going down, I was like, oh, Levi has their outfits and stuff. I was like, oh damn. I'm like, I suck at fashion and all that stuff, but like, I'm getting some ideas already. So like, it's maybe not AR in that sense, but I see myself-ish, you know, like in the app already. I'm like, okay, that would look actually kind of cool, or like, you know, like, so I can see that part of it too, with the brands embedded in there being so powerful.
Oh yeah, man, it's wonderful. Like Bitmoji is just it's such an effect. I mean, the whole Bitmoji kind of pioneered the avatar world and continues probably to be the leader in the space, and brands are noticing. And like, if I'm going to create a virtual representation of myself that I'm using on Snapchat in my video games. So like, when you play games on Snap, you're not Mario and Luigi or Donkey Kong or whatever. You're literally yourself. So we have a whole hyper casual gaming business, which is all vertical, full screen, that you can play with friends. So we're on, Joe, you and I we can waste some time together. But we play as ourselves. We play as our Bitmojis, and now my Bitmoji's wearing Levi's. Yeah. Or now my Bitmoji's, you know, in a Ralph Lauren suit. So Bitmoji's slowly opening its doors to commercial opportunities, and we're looking at iconic fashion brands first that makes sense to partner with. And I mean, you think about the jeans space, the denim space, Levi's was by far the leader in the space for a generation, but some would argue it may or may not be anymore. I don't know. I don't have the data. There's a lot of options, way more today than ever. So, you know, partnering, when you think about the long-term value, the lifetime value of a customer, like, I would rather someone, if I'm running Levi's, I would rather like a 22-year-old find me in his early 20s or her in her early 20s and buy Levi's the rest of my life than an 85-year-old find me and buy them for the rest of their life, right? So when you start to think about lifetime value, you start to think about these younger generations who are now in the workforce, having kids, buying homes, own cars, subscribing to cable, like, you know, whatever they do. And you start to think you want to future-proof your business. We become a very kind of I think Snap products kind of, you know, are in the pole position when you start thinking about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, very cool. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like, just the very basics of augmented reality isn't like when you get on Snapchat and you put like the filter on, right? And you put a crown on your head, or like makes your cheeks rosy, or whatever it does. Isn't that just like the very basic level of augmented reality? Just for anybody listening, I think like who may not be kind of picturing what we're talking about, like, they're probably already using augmented reality in some form on social media in some way right now.
Yeah, and listen, and you know, we just announced the world's first augmented reality studio at Adweek this week in New York, called Arcadia, and we believe that augmented reality is why we may be the leader in AR, and there's over 200 million Snapchatters using AR every day on the platform. For, you know, an interesting stat, that's a lot of consumers. We believe that it will exist everywhere. Like, we're very much focused on overlaying computing on the real world than creating virtual worlds, right? So there's a very big distinction between AR and VR. And virtual reality is about recreating your own world in a closed environment. But, like, you know, that there might be a place for that. Sure. You know, Metaverse Ready Player One's amazing. Style. I love the book. I love, you know, like, and I love the movie. Yeah, metaverse type style. But we very much believe, and you could argue this is two big bets, one way or the other, or they'll both coexist. Who knows? But we believe that overlaying computing on the real world is much more useful and much more aligned with our mission and our you know, kind of our belief of the future.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I definitely see the use for both. I like the heads-up display kind of stuff that you can do with augmented reality, where maybe you're wearing glasses and you're walking around in public and you look at a billboard, and the billboard will superimpose stuff into your glasses based on, you know, data that's, you know, they've got on you, kind of stuff. Like, that to me, I think is really exciting. And in the virtual reality world, I think, you know, especially in like a post-COVID world, you might start seeing more like meetups and stuff like that, maybe more in a virtual reality world. So I definitely feel like I'm very bullish on both, I guess.
Oh yeah. Well,
and maybe you can overlay computing in virtual too. So maybe you can bring AR to virtual reality.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing. It seems like AR, yeah, it's the more the bridge. I mean, I don't know how far it'll get into the virtual reality space completely, but there's always going to be this layers and layers that are going to keep stacking. I mean, that's what you guys have been doing with AR and from the beginning. And
so Snapchat was founded with two core tenets, right? So the first was private by design, which back then everyone thought Evan was crazy. Let's call a spade a spade. Why would you not want to use all this data for advertising? And today we're like, wow, maybe he was a bit of a prophet. And then two, it's built around being the fastest way to communicate. So think about camera being like, picture expressing 1,000 words, and how quickly can you take a picture and send it on Snap versus writing something out with a keyboard. But pictures, people, if you start to send selfies, you get a little uncomfortable because the reality is everywhere else it lives forever.
Sure.
But so the ephemerality of the image, meaning it disappears at predetermined time, so it doesn't live forever, helps you get comfortable sending a picture, believe it or not, because it's not going to come back and haunt you, or it's not. People aren't going to think about it and identify it with you because it just won't exist anymore.
Less baggage associated with it.
Yeah, less baggage with it. And then you slide these filters or lenses, right? And basically the difference between a filter and a lens is before you take the picture, and a filter is something you slide after you take a picture.
Okay.
And augments the, right? So, but you slide these AR experiences really quick, seamlessly, effortlessly. Also helps you feel more comfortable with the image, or helps you be more expressive with the image or video you're sending. It's pretty basic at the end of the day. Like, it all makes sense.
It totally makes sense.
I think we covered a lot. I mean, is there anything that we didn't cover that you think, regarding Snapchat, that you think we should?
Save that for episode 2. Save that for episode 2. And listen, I would say that at the end of the day, if you're in the business of introducing your business to like a new customer base, Snapchat should be on the radar. Full stop. We're a growing platform that's offering some really unique opportunities that are all within like your IAB standard sizing. So like your current assets can be used.
Yeah, man. Very cool. I'm in on it. I'm going to go explore. I'm going to force you to get back on that platform.
We'll have to play some games against each other.
Hit me up. I'm McGowan and Matt. Yeah, that's the other thing, too. It's like hard to find people on Snap, and that's by design. Because we're not about like connecting to just everybody. And there's no likes, and there's none of this like kind of anxiety material that gets everyone so anxious. Right. It's literally about connecting, having a good time, being social with your friends, and entertaining, or kind of playing around with some of the other features on the platform. So it's a fun space. Fun. It's definitely a good place.
Well, you're leading the charge for like a whole new wave of folks too, in business and consumers too, and just consumption in general, content. So it's something to pay attention to, for sure. Matt, appreciate you, man. We'll probably do a round 2. It sounds like I'm sure you guys are going to be developing new stuff. Just give it a few. But appreciate your time.
Thank you, Joe, Matt. Really appreciate it.
Whoa. I have not thought about Snapchat in probably 2+ years before this conversation.
I told him on the first chat that I didn't even have it installed anymore.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's all good.
But I mean,
I reinstalled it though.
We're not necessarily the demographic that they're targeting either, right? Like kind of that 34 and under is about the demographic they're going after. But saying all that, like, I love tech. I love virtual reality, augmented reality. Obviously, we're talking a lot of Web3 stuff on our podcast and coming episodes. And like the futuristic stuff excites me. And to me, it sounds like Snapchat is one of the people on the forefront of the AR side, the augmented reality side, right?
They definitely are. They're a camera company is how they describe Snapchat, which is all about AR.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of social media platforms that have let's be friendly and say borrowed that kind of
I didn't want to drop any names, but I was
augmented reality stuff. But Snapchat was the one who was doing it first.
Oh yeah, they've been around, and we there's a lot of integrations and cool ways they're working with other companies to build this stuff out, and it's really cool to see it in action. But like in a much deeper way than some of the others are doing with this technology, or different technology.
Just the brand stuff where it's like you can open it up and like see yourself wearing a shirt, look at your shoes with your camera and see yourself wearing those shoes.
Dude,
see what you look like in glasses or hats or whatever.
It was kind of blowing my. I mean, I was joking in the fact that like you start off with like a Bitmoji thing, and then all of a sudden you have the ability to wear some cool like here's me. I'm in a skeleton costume. I don't know if that's showing up.
I mean, you could always
put it over
the video.
Yeah, but I just like styles. I'm in Crocs. I didn't know that. But look at this. You have like I'm not recording my screen. Maybe I should. But here, I'll use this for the video. Actually, this is getting smart now, Joe. So, but like, look at that. There I am, and you have Crocs in here. I've never actually worn Crocs, but this is what I look like in Crocs now.
There you go. I mean, that looks like
looks like me in Crocs.
Looks like you in Crocs.
I mean,
hey, look, well, that's what you normally wear when you're not doing podcasts.
That's not even Halloween.
Yeah, that's just your normal outfit.
Here's Matt.
Oh yeah, actually that is kind of what I would wear. That actually kind of looks like what I'm wearing today, to be honest.
I know. But this is the thing. I was like, I suck at fashion, but I could totally see myself like, okay, so. All right, I guess a denim jacket kind of works, but this is the Canadian.
It's styling you.
It's Canadian tuxedo right here, too. Denim top and bottom.
Yeah, there you go.
But I mean, like, look at this. Like, I don't know what other American Eagle.
I mean, if your target audience is 34 or under, like Snapchat is an ad platform not many people are paying attention to, which probably means that they're going to make it attractive for ads to run on their platform.
For sure.
So it's probably a good time to get in front of that market. I mean, you and I have even talked about this. We're kind of moving more into talking Web3 and blockchain and crypto and all that kind of stuff. And
integrated tech and how it all like plays together with other things nicely.
And our buddy Brad Costanzo and I were having a call about this just yesterday. We were having this conversation about how most of the people in that space right now are the younger generation. They're like 34 and younger, right?
Gamers.
Yeah, they're like the gamers, the basement dwellers.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? That's one of the NFTs we own.
Pump it up.
But like that's that demographic. And if you want to get in front of that demographic, well, they're on Snapchat.
Yeah, they're there. And I forget, I think he said 500 million of them are there.
Yeah.
And the fact, they have an ads platform, learn that one. So like if you use Google, Facebook ads and all that stuff, well, you could probably use theirs.
Yep.
So go check out Snaps. And then they have the organic side of things. They have that Spotlight newish feature. It's been almost a year old now. But that's creating a whole bunch of more organic traction for content creators. But it's all done through like this whole passing of like, making sure the content's actually great, it's different, it's helpful or entertaining, all that stuff. So it just sounds like a fun platform in the games. I'm gonna go find Matt and you on Snapchat. You got to re-download it. Let's go play some games, huh?
Let's
go play some games. And if y'all want to, should we shout out ours, or is that not what you do with Snapchat? I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't have one yet.
I don't even know.
I don't know how I would shout it out.
So I don't know. Find us, but I don't know. Look I'm in a suit now. Dang, I look good, man.
Yeah.
I got to go buy some more clothes.
So it's already working.
It's working. So yeah, man. I don't know. The future is fun. The future is
faster than you think.
It is, yes, and that's a great plug for not our book, but it's a great book.
Not even Matt's book either.
Not Matt's as well. I don't think he has one, but when he does, we'll plug your book, Matt. But the fact is, like all this stuff that's happening so quick, it's so cool to see. Just a fun seeming company, but it's integrating throughout all these other brands, and that's only going to make it. I feel like it will speed up to the Web3. Not saying that, like, that wasn't even part of the conversation here with Matt today. But you, Matt, you and I have our opinions, and I feel like they're like building a solid foundation of where things can be built.
Well, I mean, I see augmented reality and NFTs playing very nicely together. Like, I can have my art hanging on my wall, but I have to be wearing these glasses to see the art,
For sure.
Well,
and you mentioned avatars, too. They basically created avatars, like, in you embodying yourself in a game.
Yeah, and that was like Bitmoji sort of pioneered that. Yeah.
And like, hello, NFTs, metaverse-y type stuff. Obviously, AR is not totally in that space, but like it's
all going to blend. It's all going to, there'll be a lot of crossover between those technologies in the future. And
it's exciting.
Yeah, we didn't go down that rabbit hole with him. But
it's all good.
Maybe next time we talk to him, we might. And we are also hanging out in our brand new Discord community.
It's shiny.
If you go to hustleandflowchart.com/Discord, that's where a lot of the community interaction is getting shifted to. We're not as much on the Facebook groups as much as we'd like to. Algorithmically, we're not getting seen as much.
Do we really want to be on Facebook?
And we're not huge fans
of Facebook. It's not really
Facebook
what we like to. We just don't want it.
Yeah, so we're over hanging out on Discord now. So if you go to hustleandflowchart.com/Discord, you can chat directly with us, chat with other listeners, chat with some of our guests. You'll get updates about new episodes straight into your Discord. We'll be doing contests and giveaways and throwing parties inside of the Discord. We're going to do all sorts of cool stuff for community members for Hustle and Flowchart. So that's hustleandflowchart.com/Discord.
Yeah, man. Hustleandflowchart.com/Discord. And I think we'll probably put some videos out on YouTube, probably, about how to use Discord, why we're doing this, kind of go a little deeper. So if you're fresh to Discord, have never used it, don't be worried. Don't be scared. It's basically like a Slack, another messaging platform with some cool stuff in there integrated. So we'll make it easy on you.
And if you get in there and you don't see a lot of people in there yet, that's because it's brand new. So jump in, join the group, say hello. There's probably going to be a small amount of interaction in the very early days, but it's going to ramp up, and we're going to turn that into a very, very thriving community. So
it's going to be fun.
hustleandflowchart.com/Discord.
This is going to be fun. So let's give a shout out to Easy Webinar to wrap this puppy up. Thank you very much for your support, Casey and team. And if you have not checked out Easy Webinar yet, you've heard us talking about it for literally years. You should definitely go take them up on their offer, because they're hooking you up with a fat discount. If you are any at all interested or already running any at all, whatever. If you're doing webinars, you're thinking about it, go get that thing. It's your toolkit. It's your treasure chest. It's got all the features and everything you need, and it makes it easy. So easywebinar.com/hustle.
Yeah. There. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, review, tell a friend about it, and get on Snapchat with us and our Discord and all those places.
All the fun places. All right.
Bye-bye. Bye.